Ideal, ideal. Alright. Sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ideal. Oh, so welcome. Round 1 to 3. Season start. Season 20. Looking forward to it, Damon?
Yeah, I was just sorting out my audio options just to make sure you can hear me. I was just like, I need to check that just before we start there. So yeah, season 20, shot round already.
I know, comes quick.
Yeah, it was like,
what,
a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, it's like,
yeah. Feels like just yesterday we were ranting and raving about Luca taking the championship, and now we get to see who can do it this time round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
back at Brand, it's like as if we never left it.
I know. So got a new calendar for us as we go. I'm just going through all the cars, some fucking nice liveries on the show. Starting this season at Brand's Indy, going back to what we used to do, which is quite good. Start with a nice small track, keep things close and hectic, of course.
Circuit, I made my OMA debut in a very multicoloured Toyota Avensis. So I like this track. I do like the short layout. It always brings out a lot of close racing.
No, definitely. The smaller tracks, as much as they're more difficult to overtake on, but in terms of the close racing and the way qualifying is going to look, be interesting, definitely. So, looking through big movers, you've got Ash no longer on his own in the Audi, on his own in the Honda. Sorry, he switched over to the Audi TCR to partner up with Kieran McKeldin, but unfortunately Kieran can't make it this week. Other big movers, you have a new entry for STR, Bailey Rosier, and I keep getting his name wrong. Switched over to take Nathan's seat, actually, joining our pick, Liam Ferguson, in the Audi S3, which will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Fergus is obviously racing. Obviously, hopefully it'll be full time this season. I haven't really kept up with SCR chat things, but yeah, I didn't even realise that Nathan is not racing and is being an STR reserve, and obviously Bailey's coming in his place. So that'd be fun to watch. To be fair, I like to see what that team can do.
No, definitely. I mean, Bailey's raced a little bit in the past, but he only did a couple kind of guest appearances, etc. And so you can't really get a judgment of that. And me and you were both saying quite a lot about how Ferguson was, if he was given the right car, was a definite pick for high up in the standings this time round. So it's going to be interesting to see the balance between those two. So we see a 21 car grid.
Yeah, I'm obviously not actually driving a hooligan Focus around here. I think I'd have an unfair advantage. So.
It's definitely going to be a pick for pole position on quali then. Completely from scratch, no ballast. Who's your pick?
I'm going to probably say it's probably going to be boring choices, to be fair. But with
safe bet.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what drivers do. I know some teams have switched around cars. Obviously, there's a few more BMWs on the track now as well, so it's a bit more rear-wheel drive. But I'm half expecting a whole shootout probably between the likes of Luca and Brandon. I'll be surprised if they're not at the front. I'll be gobsmacked, to be honest.
Definitely, yeah. I'm interested to see two drivers in particular. So one, obviously, Ashley Field. He's always been at the top, and he's in a new car for himself this time round. Obviously, he's always been in the Honda or the Chevrolet. This is his first season in the Audi TCR, so it could go either really well for him, and we'll see him, battling Luca and Brandon the entire way through, or he may struggle to start off with. But quite a bold one. I'm actually interested to see what Declan Evans can do, because he's on his own for the first time, like actually running his own team now in that Chevrolet, the Laser Tools Racing Chevrolet that he's running. If I just switch over to it now, so it's just going to be a case of, again, it's just seeing how those two do.
Yeah, I
new
say
setup,
quite a
so
few
to
of them have
speak.
switched over to independent teams this season, haven't they, or running their own teams.
Yeah, so you've got JQ, and he was a big one. Was the BCR Mercedes last season. He's actually left BCR and has joined Tempest Motorsport. That's the kind of full name for them, and he's going to be running their first ever. They've ran in kind of GT3 and that in OMA, but this is his first. That is their first time. Sorry, in the touring cars. So it'll be interesting to see what Jake can do. Of course, managed to get himself a Chevrolet as well, which is quite big. It's quite a popular car.
Yeah, Chevys have always been popular. I remember back in the days, you used to say Chevy's OP. For me, I say, from my driving preferences, a Chevy has always been a well-balanced car, one that's usually been pretty good for people to get the hang of. So I can see why, it'd be a common car to pick for people coming in. It's a good baseline car to use. It's always been quick.
Yeah.
If you set it up right, of course, it will be absolutely bonkers. But it's not by no means. It's not what I would say is the fastest car out there. I mean, the Audis and Chevys were up the front quite often last season, but the Audis were very competitive between the two types that obviously are available.
Yeah, I mean, one big part of it was helped also one thing you have to say is that the people that were in those Chevrolets last season were consistent top runners anyway. You had the likes of Luca and Brandon, the main two obviously, who were, always battling first and second in pretty much every race, or at the very least at the championship come the end. So you'd expect those two to be high up. I'm just seeing that Brandon, as we're speaking about him, actually is currently holding on to that pole position, so I'm going to...
Yeah, I've just been switching around and catching up with stuff, but he's just going faster and faster as he goes around the track, so yeah, he's keeping it clean and just pumping in the lap time, so...
What we expect from him at this point. It's always been Brandon's way. He tends to, between him and Luca, they tend to both... Brandon more so, apart from the odd moment, but he tends to stay more out of trouble and just... both of them really actually... They just stay out of trouble and just get their finishes, get their high results, and generally don't see them miss out on too much unless they get caught up in something.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the guys that have been competitive last season, obviously they want to stay the same this season. So obviously, yes, it would be good to be fast out the box and be competitive, but obviously consistency will be key. It's with the way the championship is, the free races and everything like that, in each round, you can't really afford to have a mishap or a bad result. You need to be as consistent as possible. Just
want to quickly point out, sorry, we're mentioning Liam Ferguson earlier. He is currently sat in second, right alongside Brandon with a 47.2, which is a very quick time. We're expecting just sneaking in the 47, possible sneaking in to the 46s, but 47.2 is a very good time at the moment, considering that Brandon is also on a 47.2. It's extremely close between them.
Yeah, I was looking through the lap times, massively close. You got who's in third there? Jake. Yes, Jake is actually up in third place at the moment. So.
Another one I do want to point out actually is that Conor Ambrose is making the switch to the independent entry under Team VTX in the BMW. He's currently sat in fourth.
Yeah, there's a few names up there which I didn't expect to be up there straight away, but I mean, it'd be nice to keep them up there. I mean, Jake third, as you just said there. I've forgotten who you said was in fourth there. Things keep changing.
Currently, Conor Ambrose. Looking through, Ambrose actually filled fifth.
That's good. You don't see many BMWs, so it's good to see a BMW being competitive. So.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do have a BMW team finally back on the grid, which is Conor Leese and Ben Kriener as part of BCR. Unfortunately, Ben is unable to race tonight, but they do also have the independent entry of Stephen Cumming as well, the 3 BCR entries now. So Connor kind of took Jake's seat, and they managed to get an extra license in order to bring Ben in as well. And at the moment, Connor on his return, he's the current 3-time champion here at OMA, currently sat in 8th in qualifying, so that's not where he's wanting to be.
Yeah, so the reigning champ Lucas just managed to improve up to 4th place there. So he was just teetering around the top 10, but I think Jax has gone 5th as well. So yeah,
lap time can't start them flying in now, and as you say that, Ash has jumped up into 4th as well, pushing both of them down.
I think JSB as a whole is going to be a very competitive set of drivers overall. I mean, they've got a team which is obviously the reigning champs. Had first and second with the drivers. I think the other 2 are independents, aren't they? So are they independents? The other 2?
Which 2? Sorry, apologies.
It's Jack and is it Andrew? Andrew, those 2 are independents, aren't they?
Are independents, but still running under the JSB banner, of course. But both running as independent entries. So
just had them off.
Obviously, they're all going to be sharing. I think a few of them are starting to make mistakes.
Yeah, a lot of people hitting the gravel now.
Actually, so. Looks like it is hitting the end of quali if they're all going off. Let me just double check and see what they're doing. Lap 9 of 10. Yeah, it looks like this is coming towards the end as Luke comes off. So let's.
Everyone's just finished their laps. There's a Garside just got to 6th there at the end. So.
What we have completely missed out on, however, is
Fergs. Yeah,
taking pole position. Taking pole position is Liam Ferguson off of Brandon.
Yeah, that was less than a 10th as well. I mean, it's like what, 500ths of a second, I think it was. Not even that. So
that is he was one of our bets at the end of Brands to be fighting for the championship.
I'll take my hat off to that.
An early statement here. Yeah, definitely.
I thought Luca or Brandon would be up there. I mean, obviously they are competitive up there, but it's nice to see Fergus living up to the reputation we gave him last season.
So let's see if we can have a quick run through before I start backing out. So you've got Ferguson first, Brandon got 2nd, 3rd is Ewan, 4th did stick with Ash, 5th for Lucas, 6th for Garside, 7th is Brady, 8th for Ambrose. Lease gets 9th and rounding out the top 10 by 8 thousandths is Deck in that Laser Tools Racing Chevrolet. So decent top 10 there actually, as they're all slowly backing out now to get ready for the racing.
Yeah, I mean, as expected, the lap times look super close. I think it's quickest for recording someone going 4th, someone else went 4th, followed by someone else going 4th. So
there seemed to be about one lap where it almost seemed like everyone finally found their speed and they all hit a certain pace at the same time.
Yeah, it was just like this guy's first, second, third. It was looking pretty solid. A couple of guys were just teasing around top 10, and then on one lap they all just went 4th, one after the other. So
yeah,
so it was like okay, but it's good. It's what we like to see.
So I've just been sent the quali results over. Let's have a look and see how that is. So yeah, so Ferguson did take pole with a 47.177. Second went to Brandon Roos with a 47.198.
Oh, so even less than I thought. Jeez.
Extremely close between those two. That's going to be something to watch out for at the start. Jake third with a 47.3, so a little bit of a gap back, but still not masses. Ash also 47.3, Luca 47.4. Then you've got Garside 47.4, Brayley 47.4, Connor 47.4. That's Connor Ambrose. Connor Lease with a 47.5. Then you've got Declan Evans 47.6, 47.6 again for Robert Newman. 47.7 for James Allen. Keep going down. Ryan Powell back in the Mercedes with also a 47.7, but only 1,000th behind James Allen. So definitely got some places to gain up there. As we have now also, just to mention, we have gained our 24th, as it's going to chuck me into spectate someone who hasn't backed out again. Good old Forza. Who's not backed out? My bet is Ryan. Yeah, there he is. It's always Ryan.
I think me and him are having a competition there, because even I forgot to back out.
So you backed out last.
Yep.
Going back down the grid. So yeah, Ryan 13th, Carl Cully 14th, 15th for Ali Johnston, 16th for Bailey Rosier on his return / start. We'll call it his first start. We'll give the pass to Mulligan. It was only like I say, maybe 1-2 guest entries, if that. It was his full season. So keep going down. Andrew Lawrence 17th. He won't be happy with that, but I'm sure he'll gain those places back. It's quite a close track. Just got to watch out for the issues at turn 1. You've got Shane Bellotti 18th, 19th for Ben Brenson, 20th is Stephen Cumming, and 21st for Mark Ruddick. But again, the lap times are all extremely close. Not much more to say really than that. That it's going to be the standard Brands Indy. There's not going to be many spaces, not going to be many gaps to find. But the second one person makes a mistake, that's it.
Yeah, I'm expecting a train. Somewhere in amongst all this lot, there'll be a train. It's something that's typical of Brands. Even in its Grand Prix version, you end up with like a little bit of a train. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the main thing for these guys is to try and get a clean start as possible. Last season, finale, I remember there was a 4 or 5 car pile up, and it allowed Luca just to go from like 7th to
like 9th
first or something
yeah,
in a lap.
It was a ridiculous first lap for him, wasn't it? Yeah. No, definitely. I think that was kind of the moment that decided the championship outright, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. He just went through the gap that was there, and that was it. He was gone.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think obviously the exit of Paddock Hill is going to be massive, because it's one of those kind of deceptive corners where if you just misjudge it that little bit, you look like you can carry so much speed through, but if you just misjudge it by a centimetre, you end up in that gravel trap on the outside, and because of the run down the hill that you do get, you will get absolutely swamped if you touch that gravel. So that's the main thing that these guys are going to have to watch out for.
Probably the toughest part of the circuit is that corner, because you touch that gravel, if there's a car right behind you, you're either going to get, like you said, you get swamped, or you're probably causing a safety car. So it's like
there is that. Precisely. It's I mean, main overtaking spot, you're probably going to find either the braking zone of turn 1,
definitely,
or potentially the braking zone into Druids turn 2. I don't see much happening on turn 3, but it might be like a
I think
the other
corners
through turn
will be
2 and try and overtake.
Dependent on how well you get an exit to the car in front. If the car in front is, runs a little bit wide or gets a bad exit because an attempt to pass didn't work or something, you'll end up with a opportunity. Last corner's possible if you're extremely brave and can probably Matt Neal it. You can probably just get up the inside of someone there if they leave like half a car width. So
yeah, I mean, I think one corner, the Chevrolets you'll probably find might make a couple moves through kind of the exit of a couple of turns. They'll try and pull alongside someone. But I know because obviously with everything that happened last season, there was a slight build change on the Chevrolet. It was made a little bit heavier, so its acceleration is a little bit down, and its turning ability has just gone that little bit down as well, just enough to bring it in just a little bit closer to everyone else. Not that it was overpowered like you mentioned, but just because it's got such a good acceleration, just to kind of make the rest a little bit lower, so to speak.
Yeah, I missed a few bits about that with the changes to the Chevy, but I think it's good overall to keep it obviously as close as possible to the other cars. I think it still have its little bit of an advantage if they really get the revs right and just get off the line. I think that's just one thing. It's the Chevy's acceleration. It'll still be there. Obviously, probably not as prominent as last season.
Yes. No, I mean it's the one characteristic the Chevrolet has. We know it's got that low down acceleration to assist it through the corners. I think you'll be spectating, but
did you forget to do something?
No, I think that was. I think they just changed how many laps we were going to be doing. So it looks like we're going to be doing 20 laps. I believe it's going to be 2 warm-ups because it's quite a short run. Make sure I'm spectating. There we go. Don't want to be racing. And make sure you're spectating, mate.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at me going. It's like I'm going to be racing. How good's that?
The Hoonigan Focus is going to take everyone on.
Yeah, I'll be the safety car.
So, obviously...
Oh, wait, let me ready
Race
out. What's
one.
going on here?
Oh no, we're ready.
Oh, we're all
Just
good,
waiting on
okay. I
everyone else
thought
to-
it was
yeah,
having
yeah.
a funny 5 minutes there.
Nah, you're all good. Looking through... Just having a look through some of these liveries, actually, because some of them I haven't seen. Oh yeah, Callum Kirkpatrick has now joined. He will be starting from the back, as you can now see. So, welcome Callum. We have now got a full 22-car grid.
So there's a lot of Connors and Callums going on here. I'll tell you one thing, I guarantee
There's,
they'll get a few wrong.
Most definitely. Just another run through. Ferguson first pole position for him. He's technically, if we ended the season right now, he's the champion because he's got that one bonus point for qualifying on pole. So congratulations, thanks for coming, Manjak.
Yeah, unfortunately we're allowed to keep our events going. Yeah.
Just end it there, that's it.
Yeah.
So what's going to make their way around?
Nice pink Audi, you know, that's going to easily stand out, isn't it? It's a nice livery, to be fair. It's kind of got a little camo look going to it, hasn't it? So. Let's get my good old info up here.
Yeah, I think it is going to be 2 warm-up laps, like I say, so watch him make a... Probably end up warming tyres up on the... Well, definitely get as much heat into them as possible, especially with this Chevrolet starting next to him and behind him. He's going to want to get as good a launch as he can.
So the first warm lap's already over already, and I've only managed to get as far as like the 5th place car as I'm going looking through them here. Believe it or not, I'm actually trying to find the first non-Chevy in Audi, and it's a drifting BMW. It's one way to warm your tyres up.
That's Conor Ambrose then.
Yep.
Mention a drifting BMW. We all know that's Conor Ambrose. He is one.
He just proper Ken blocked
behind
it.
the wheel of that BMW one. Yeah, sounds about right. He's an absolute menace behind the wheel of that BMW on a warm-up lap.
Yeah, it's good to see there be a bit more BMWs on there. I mean, rear-wheel drive cars are exceptionally rare in Forza for touring car specs. So.
No, definitely. I mean, they were quite... We didn't really see any last season at all. I mean, Callum started off in one, but he ended up switching away. But, you know, to see... Well, we could have maxed...
I mean, if it was a drifting competition, I think we've already got our champion. I mean, he is just proper, you know, he's like fast and furious around here at the moment. You know, he's going 20 miles an hour, but he's drifting it if he's going like 100. So, hats off to him.
Beautiful. That's what we want to see.
Yep.
He's going to have to get a good start now, just because of the amount of...
Yeah, those rear tyres are going to be so warmed up. If he doesn't get a good launch, I'll be amazed.
The only concern he's got is that the back of the grid has got to form up for him, because he's quite high up, his Connor.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually another BMW behind him. It's the other Connor, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Lease.
Yeah, his livery, is that his actual livery? It doesn't look like it's loaded up for me.
Yes, it is,
so.
yeah.
Is it actually
No,
an
that
eBay
is
livery?
yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's not an eBay. No, have you got the eBay livery, have you?
Yeah, I've got the eBay livery, so yeah.
Ah, no, that's not his. I'm glad I checked.
Yeah, I thought I was going mad.
Let's not watch those, because I won't be able to see anything else if I watch him. Get rid of the map just for this start, just so I can see them all. You can see the grid lining up. That is beautiful.
Yep. I could see the V shapes going with a lot of cars here. Everyone's just like expecting to get a better start than everyone else
see
here.
one car quite far back that looks to be... That might be a Mercedes, actually. I can't quite tell, but there's one car that's really angled in. Behind the Mercedes, actually, that might be.
It's a shame there's not more Mercedes on the grid. It's usually a solid car. I just don't think everyone's unlocked the potential out of it yet. So.
No, definitely. But it sounds like they're getting ready to go. Who's going to get the start? Watch for the Chevrolet of Brandon Root on the right-hand side.
Yeah, no.
We're underway. That looked like a monster
Monster
start.
start.
From Brandon,
Yeah. Massive amount of wheel spin from On the
He
pole
has
set,
taken off
it's
and
gone.
straight away got to first. Second looks like it's Jake Ewan. Luca Townsend looked like he's going up alongside. Who's that taking a... Is that Ashley Field looking to make a dive through? He's backed out, but great start from Brandon as expected. Jake Ewan taking second. Ferguson in the end has done well to hold on to third place considering the pressure he got put under by Luca. Brandon Roos has started off in first. Let's make a quick check, see if we've lost anyone off the start. It looks like no one has made it into the gravel trap in turn one, so that's good to see. Ferguson already on the back of Ewan trying to get second place straight back.
I was saying,
getting
hats off to all the drivers
possible,
there. Everyone looks like they got through. As I say, that someone's gone off. To jinx someone back there. I don't know who's gone off.
Curse immediately.
Yeah, I've cursed. It's cursed. Who have I cursed? Let's find out.
Gonna keep track of these leaders. So this Ashley Field looks like he's all over the back of the BMW on at least, I believe that was.
So I cursed Bailey on his
You
debut
cursed
there.
Bailey on
Yep.
his...
Sorry. That's who went off.
I'll let him know it was your fault.
I'm sure I'll get something in the SGR chat later.
See if there's any big movers at the moment. Nothing really. I mean, you've got Callum Kirkpatrick from 22nd on the grid is up into 16th. That's quite big. Someone run wide, possibly.
It was actually he just skated across the grass under pressure, but he managed to avoid hitting anyone. So
no problem.
he's under a massive.
Brandon in first is really being hounded by Jake Ewan. He's looking for every gap. He's kind of just following him behind and just waiting for a mistake. He's probably going to try and get a read on him through a few laps, see if there is a gap he can find. But he's almost hitting the back of him. He's so close. We can see that Connor Lease has made his way up. That looked like, whereas he got up into 6th now.
Yeah, I'm just watching this massive battle for 7th. There's like everyone's taking about 7 different lines going into the second corner just a minute ago. So it's a huge scrap going on.
Yes, Ashley Field followed by Connor Lease, Connor Ambrose, who's got the 2 BMWs right behind him. Then you've got Jack Braley.
Someone else has gone off. That last corner is catching people out at the moment.
Yeah, it really was. I'm not quite sure who it was. Don't think anyone's lost too many places.
It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, who actually just went off.
Yeah. Back up to the leaders, however, you've got Brandon Roos still defending from Jake Ewan at the top. Only 6 laps in, and already we're seeing the gaps starting to form. So you kind of got this top 5, which is a bit of a train, then 6th place down to about 9th. They're all kind of grouped together. Then you've got the pack from 11th to 15th, and then really the rest.
Yeah, it's like 2 little groups, and you got, like you said, a small group at the top 5. There's a couple by themselves, and down to 11th, as you said, is literally the whole field is 11th. You know, everyone's just there. So,
looking at it, I think it was Declan Evans and the Laser Tool Chevrolet actually lost out because he was fighting for top 10. He's currently sat down in 16th, having to defend heavily from the Honda of Robert Newman. So it might have been him that kicked up the dust that we saw a couple laps ago.
yeah, this battle for 8th is just turning into one huge train being held up by, I think it's Connor's holding it up. So,
yeah, let's have a look and see how he's getting on. He's really defending heavily from I think that's Jack Braley and Ali Johnston right behind him.
oh, if Jack finds a gap, he'll go for it. You give him half an inch, you'll take a mile that one. That's what he does. He's got to be careful though. He's attacking Connor, but he's now being attacked at the same time. He's actually got the highest top speed, so I mean, he might be safe from behind. But you got a Merc in that train as well now, right in the middle of them all.
That's the thing. That Mercedes, I think that's Ryan Powell actually is getting onto the back of the.
It is, yeah.
He himself said that he was disappointed with how he got on with that Audi, and he wanted to switch back to the Mercedes. We know he knows that this round is going to be quite a challenge for that car because it more suits the bigger tracks. But God, it looks
Ali
like
and Jack are literally just blended together there a little bit, going down. Proper defending going on, and Ryan's just got the undercut from that. That's kind of what I was saying before the race started. Yeah, you attack someone and get a bad exit, there will be another car straight away just up your inside, and Ryan's not as brave on the brakes.
Yeah, it's not as brave, however. Yeah. bear in mind, Ali did have the last season completely in that Chevrolet, so he's probably got a bit more of a go at his... Oh, who's he having to defend from that? I think that's James Allen that Ryan's now having to defend from in the Alpha Tauri Audi TCR. All over the back of Ryan now, so he's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, it's a very juicy battle. Let's see what's going on at the front here.
Sorry, just having to mention that Ferguson and Jake Ewan are all over each other looking to vie for second place.
Yeah, I just went there myself. Yeah, I just saw that happening on the mini-map there. It's just like, what's going on here?
I think Ferguson went to take a move up the inside and just had a bit of a run through the grass, so I had to kind of back out slightly so as not kind of make it an illegal overtake, so to speak. But Jake is having to really defend heavily, and this is playing completely into Brandon's hands.
Yeah, I think Ferguson's going to be a bit disappointed he had that bad start. I mean, the Chevy's had a good start. Obviously, Brandon absolutely had a rocket ship start, but I think Ferguson ended up with too much wheel spin and bogged down in the second phase of his start. So he's obviously wanted to make up some places now and obviously try and get back on the attack for first. But obviously he's now got to get past. He's got to get past Jake first. So
definitely. And one thing that could possibly happen is
Jake's made a mistake and gone wide.
That's going to be second place.
No, Ferguson went sideways. He took too much curb, so it ended up cancelling each other out there. But this battle is bringing Luca up, and
yes, I was about to say that Luca and Phil Garside now right on the back of this queue. So this two-man battle for second place has slowly become a four-person battle, and just going to have to be careful because not far behind is Ashley Field and Connor Lease, both of which are champions, both former.
Yeah, they're not battling now, so they could probably just help each other around there and just catch up.
They probably had some sort of moment of gone, right, we can see those ahead of us are battling. Let's get our head down and let's go for them. That's the kind of mindset that especially Ash has.
Yeah, I mean, that was a perfect opportunity for Ferguson there, and he didn't quite take it. You know, he tried to cut up the inside. He saw obviously that the guy in front went wide, but then he clipped the curb too hard and he lost the rear a bit. So it ended up cancelling it out, and they ended up just staying where they are now.
Yeah, sorry, I just caught then. It looks like Conor Ambrose has made a mistake at turn one, and he's ended up losing quite a few places now. He's finding himself battling for 13th, as opposed to the battle that he was holding on to 8th. So,
yeah, as I say, one mistake round 10, you're losing 5 places.
That's the problem, isn't it?
It's brands for you.
Has allowed Jack actually to escape Ali, and he's kind of in no man's land now. Jack, it's a bit of a tongue twister, because he's ahead of Ali pretty comfortably, and he's now just really looking ahead at the BMW Connor Lease just getting away from him. So he's really just going to have to plug away and hope for a... Well, I just hope to see what happens ahead of him, but I think that's pretty much going to be it for Jack now. He's holding on to 8 bar a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I know he'll keep on pushing to the end and hope some guys in front of him make mistakes, but he'll probably see out this run and just stay as front as possible, and then hope for a good start in race 2. You know.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, obviously now with the regulation changes, instead of just the top 3 carrying ballast into kind of race 2, it will be the top 5. So as it stands, the highest place finisher not taking ballast is going to be Ashley Field.
Yeah,
which I think is a scary prospect.
That is actually quite an interesting one. Also, I'm still getting used to all the new changes for the season. But yeah, I mean, top 5 ballast is... I'm actually intrigued to see what happens with that. You know, I think that would give a lot more guys in the top 10, especially, you know, not too far behind. These guys, obviously, you know, ballast just flying around. So it'll give a lot more guys an opportunity, because obviously with a reverse grid, the top 5 cars with ballast, that's going to make some really interesting midfield battles as they try battle their way back through.
Oh, 100%. I'm just kind of looking through it. You know, even now, Ferguson's still all over the back of Jake, but he just can't seem to get that gap. It's almost just like Jake's just found that little bit of space that he needs to keep ahead of that TCR, and he's just doing enough to... I mean, if he was Brandon's teammate at the moment, Brandon would be loving life. I mean, I think he's loving it anyway, but Jake is just holding.
So yeah, I mean, the guys have stalemated themselves at the front here, so I've just gone back to Connor defending for his life, because that's pretty much what he's doing at the moment. He's got Andrew Lawrence all over him. There's a whole host of cars already. Yeah, there's a whole host of cars behind him.
Lawrence got CK, who's up to 13th from 22nd on the grid. He's made a good run. Decker's made his way back up to 14th, so gained a couple of places. So he's on the back of this train as well, probably hoping for something in front. As Lawrence looked like he caught a bit too much grass there, so that's going to compromise him through.
Oh, there's a Mercedes
Kick of
on the
dust
gravel
ahead.
there.
That was Ryan.
Yeah, that's
Powell.
Ryan.
I think he was pushing.
Connor's going to have him.
Get to Ali by the looks
No,
of it.
he's cut that off. He just saw Connor coming there. He's going to take the defensive line.
Around the outside. Aaron's going to take him around the outside of turn 1.
Oh,
what a move.
nice.
He pulls that off.
Took a full advantage of that.
Good move done by Andrews. Obviously, it was helped by the fact that Ryan had made that mistake, but he did really well to go around the outside of turn 1. That's a brave move, like we said.
Yeah, I mean, he had the run on him there. I mean, the Mercedes might have some pretty good straight line speed, but that, the gravel around here slows you down so much.
Oh, definitely.
He must have lost a couple of seconds there because he was a little bit ahead of this battle, and now he's just been sucked straight into it again.
I'm monitoring this battle for a second, and it does look like Luca is gaining on the pair of these two. He seems to have dropped away from Garside, and now that he's got no one behind him to steal a position from him, he's slowly pushing up and slowly plugging away, and may actually get to the back of Ferguson and Ewan. Whether he's going to have enough time to make anything happen as we enter lap 18 soon.
This race is flying by, isn't it? Oh, and Ryan's just touched the grass again. He's just got swamped. He dipped his rear tyre coming down the hill into turn 3.
Deck going for an outside move then on CK. Is he going to go for a switch back? If he can use that low down acceleration on the Chevrolet to try and get a move on Kirkpatrick on the straight, it looks like he's going to have to just stick behind, but...
I mean, fair play for Ryan holding that position, but I just saw his rear tyre touch that grass, and he went so sideways, and everyone was just around him. Well, Macy actually held on to that position.
Looks like it's allowed Ambrose to escape.
Yeah, Ambrose is just checked out now. He's just like, thank you. It's like, I'll happily take this 10th right now.
I'm having to keep checking the battle between... It looks like it is going to be Ewan and Ferguson, actually. I don't think Luca's going to have enough time to get back up as we enter the penultimate lap. But I'm still keeping an eye on Deck here, because he's taken a slightly wider exit into the final turn to try and...
Andrew just made mistakes skidding across the grass and let the BMW...
It's allowing CK through, I think. What's that now for... Is that 12 for Kirkpatrick if he can pull this one off? It's going to be a move into turn 1 if he does it. And I think Deck might actually try and follow him through... No, Lawrence as well to cut that one off. He might try and dive back down the inside of CK into the Druids, but...
I'm assuming CK has changed his gamer tag, because I'm sitting there thinking, who's that?
Yes. Yeah, a late switch with CK.
So that's Callum, I take it then, is it?
Yes, Callum Kirkpatrick.
Ah, yes, okay. I was sitting there going, yeah, CK's going through, and I was like, his gamer tag is different. It's like, is this a different driver, but like a last minute addition to the grid or something? It's like, no, it's not.
So finally, final lap, and it pretty, I want to say an easy drive for Brandon. He had the good start, a little bit of defence away from Jake to begin with, and then he's kind of just took off.
Yeah, he just checked out.
47-0.
He had a perfect start, fastest lap. You know, he's getting the maximum points. So it's the best way to start
this.
Yeah, especially with you know, the reigning champion was down in 4th still, I think. Is he down in 4th still? So yeah, that's exactly what he needs.
So Brandon Roos takes the victory. 2nd is going to go the way of Jake Ewan. 3rd for Liam Ferguson. 4th for Luke Townsend. 5th goes to Phil Garcia. 6th goes to goes to Ashley Field. 7th was Conor Ambrose. 8th for Jack Brady, who did catch. It's Conor Leese. 8th goes to Jack Brady. 9th for Ali Johnson, and 10th for Ambrose. Holds on to that top 10 position.
Everyone else 11th. There was like 6 cars just went across the line together.
Ryan like it was given to Ryan. Patrick takes 12th. That's 10 positions gained during the race.
Is there ever a reward for most race positions gained from your start position? I mean, Making
I
up
think we
10
may have to
places
bring that
around
in
brands.
simply for
Yeah, that's
that
good
is an
going.
impressive drive from Kirkpatrick, definitely. So just a reminder of your results there. Brandon Roos does take the win and the fastest lap point. So
Maximum points
Brandon.
there.
It's kind of a, I want to say an uneventful race, but it wasn't. There was a lot that went on, just not enough. There wasn't any kind of contact. It looked pretty clean and...
Everyone was well behaved. I think by race 3 is when the gloves come off. I think everyone's just feeling out
Yes.
what the process at the moment in the first race. Just want to get the
slowing
points on the board.
Easing into it.
I think that was more of a case of I don't want to make a mistake and throw myself down to last. Let's just pick up the points and then go from there. But the last corner caught a few people out. Quite a few cars dipped, either went a bit too wide coming into the corner and skidded across the grass, or went wide into the last corner and dipped their wheel onto the gravel. That seemed to be the corner that was catching out a few guys.
Yeah, it did appear that way. I mean, it's one of those, and you never know how this race is going to go. It looked like it was extremely close and battling all the way down the field, which is always good to see. Apart from that, for the winner, Brandon Roos, and
I mean, the start
really,
I think is what won him there. You know, he absolutely aced it. The quickest car off the grid easily. It's a shame that obviously Ferguson didn't get the start, but he bogged down on the second stage of the getaway, and then obviously that allowed Jake to go through on it. So he'll rule that mistake. He had pole. I mean, third is still not the end of the world. That's still very good points, and obviously there's a long way to go in the championship, and there's 2 races to go tonight. So he'll hopefully just want to not replicate a bad start. That's what he's going to have to try and avoid.
no, definitely. I mean, we know those Chevrolets get away well, but he looked like he just, nailed it, I think is the safe way of putting it.
He absolutely nailed it. None of the other Chevys went off the line that quick. So he got the rev just right and just went. As soon as that time came out, he just dropped the clutch and was gone. So
No, definitely.
But yeah, I mean,
Luke,
some of the other cars kind of just drifted off a bit. It was mostly the Chevy Audi battle going on there. Like BMW's dropped off a little bit. Mercedes was on the cusp of a top 10, but didn't quite make it. So
just looking through, seeing in our chat, we've got Luca not first. This lad's shit.
to be honest, I am a bit surprised that Luca didn't make more of an impression on the 2 battling in front, because when they both made a mistake and he got on the back of him, the second and third, I thought, right, he's there now. He's gonna, he's seen him make a mistake, but he kind of just fell back a little bit. So it's a bit surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ace racing for that first race. Well done, everyone. I completely agree. Yeah, definitely.
It was literally. I mean, there was a few door rubbing, which is touring cars, but everyone was well behaved. There was no massive crashes. It was just a few odd driver mistakes in the midfield where obviously there was a lot of pressure going on there. And it wasn't like massive mistakes; it was just the odd dipping the wheel. So I think
I mean,
it was a good first race.
Considering the way that obviously race 3, like we kind of ended the season with that incident at turn 1, which wasn't anyone's fault. It was just too many cars going into one gap. For them all to make it through what is really 3 weeks of no racing, back in it, and no one make a mistake on that first corner is impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, compared to obviously the last rounds last season, it was the first corner catching people out. This season, it's the last corner. So but I think everyone's now got that first race out the way, and they'll know, obviously, will learn from those odd mistakes they made. They weren't massive mistakes. It was just the odd slightly going wide. That allowed them to either touch the grass or the gravel. But it's punishing. I can't remember who it was now, but one guy dipped his wheel on the gravel and lost 5 places. So it's
Yeah, I think it had Ambrose did it on turn one, and I think they also had Deck do it on the final turn as well, which he did a good recovery drive to get to where he did.
Yeah.
But of course, it does happen. It's the way it happens, and I think he'll be proud of how that first race went, considering it is his first race as a new team. But it's just see how it all goes on. So let's have a look and see. Obviously, guys, feel free to say whatever you want in the chat. Any opinions on how that went? Keep them coming.
Yeah. If anyone wants to talk about the drifting skills of Connor, by all means. That was just two laps of drifting. He probably blew up his tyres. That's probably why he struggled in the end. Probably just wrecked his tyres.
Oh, you guys remember this shameless plug from Stephen coming in the chat again? You pop in just to do that every time, don't you?
I'm actually going to wait until he starts doing a hashtag taking it to Narnia,
I think that's where his Mercedes ended up, actually.
He's got a whole field full of the old V8 Nissans in there, from back in the day.
It is, yeah.
I missed the V8s. They were fun to have in the grid. To be fair, pain to balance, but they were fun.
Yeah, they were something back in the Forza 6 days, eh?
Yeah, I mean,
it fuck them up.
Oh dear. I don't think that Merc was an A-class by the time he sent it there.
Shirt saying Mulsanne is slow, you can take my money. Alright, designers, get on it.
I'm actually waiting to see if someone just sneaks some ballast out of his car. It's like he secretly had some in there or something, you know what I mean?
Let's have a look through. So far Ferguson's got his ballast. Garso has his, Luca has his, Brandon has his. Just waiting on Jake to add his ballast. Ooh, I'll get on it, Rickson. Mulsanne is slow. That's a beautiful t-shirt, actually. Do you want that just on a long sleeve, or what are we after?
Is this adding to the available shirts? Is it?
Yes, there's been a request made in the chat for if you have a shirt saying Mulsanne is slow, you can take my money, which is obviously targeted at Luca. Can that be official TMS merch too? I think that seems fair. Did anyone see my start? No, we did not see your start.
Who's after their start?
Callum's asking if anyone saw his start. Unfortunately, mate, we were looking at the front of the grid, not
unfortunately, someone actually aced the start, so we kind of didn't see. It's a bit harsh, but someone got a. I don't know. Maybe he had some illegal boost in his car or something. I mean, that start was crazy. But
someone call Lord Gal. We need to reduce the boost on his BMW and his BMW alone.
It's going to be a load of OMA meme shirts before the end of the night, and I can see it happening.
Perfect, can't wait. That's. I'm more than happy to facilitate.
Most of it will come from the banter
CK,
between
your
the
start
drivers.
wasn't all that. Stephen coming and Callum Kirkpatrick getting into it in our chat. That's what we want to see.
You probably didn't see the start because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think he got that great a start, Callum. I mean, he ended up in 16th, but I thought that was just... I mean, obviously he's in a BMW, and I think the people around him were all in Audis. Suck my acorn, I passed you. Is he called?
That's brilliant.
You'll love to see it.
All this respect between the drivers, you know.
Is that the word for it?
Well, you know when the respect is
Where
gone
did
when they
you
start
finish
trying
now?
to murder
Oh,
each other on the track.
They're getting into it now.
Now, if these two get together on the racetrack in race 2...
Yeah, I think we're going to have to watch you two 19th after ending up in the gravel. Ah! That's one of the people that ended up in the gravel. Then that answered our question from earlier when we didn't notice who it was.
I saw someone going to gravel, but I went back to try and find them, but I couldn't figure out who it was because there was just a whole swamp of cars, and it was like, which one of you went on the gravel?
I got Kyled, okay, you win! So I could just sit here listening, watching you two chat in our chat for the entire race. But obviously we want to see you two actually do something, so... Oh, I need to... I feel like... I was wondering why they were waiting, and I noticed that I hadn't clicked a spectate, so that's on me.
To be honest, I actually forgot, because, you know, we were watching memes being formed.
Oh, just noticed who's got pole. So 8th was drawn on the reverse grid, meaning that Jack Braley and his Chevrolet will be starting alongside Connor Lease in the BMW. Oh, now I don't know who's going to be first into turn 1.
That is going to be interesting. I mean, the guys that all got the ballast are still right near the front there, you know, in the top 10. So, that should be fun. But yeah, I mean, a rear-wheel drive versus a Chevy for the, you know, at the front. So that would be cool.
And they've got Ash directly behind, but he's in the TCR, so he's going to stay where he is, in my opinion. So yeah,
I mean,
really
to be fair, if he gets a good start, he'll be alright. Because obviously the next cars behind him directly are the guys, obviously with the ballast.
Yeah, I mean it's...
There's a good opportunity there for these top 3. If they get good starts, don't trip over each other. You know, the ballast will play its part, especially in the latter stages of the race.
Definitely, I mean... You'll find, I mean, obviously, you'll see that those two will get a good start straight away. Ash will obviously be sat in 3rd. It'll be interesting to see what the, because the highest ballast carrier is going to, with like kind of the good acceleration, is that of Luca Townsend, who's in 5th. It'll be interesting to see what he can do off the start. We know what his starts are like on there. And also Brandon, we got a monster start in race 1. Yes, he's carrying ballast, but if he gets the good start again, there's no real saying what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part, you know, interests me. Obviously, Ferguson will want to make sure he gets a better start. He can't afford to bog down again in the second stage of the start like he did last time. Because he would struggle to stay in the top 10 otherwise. Yeah, there seems to be 2 groups going on here. It's like a whole bunch of stragglers at the back there, but, you know. Actually, it seems that all the bantam's going on. I'm going to actually shoot back here and see if anyone's murdering anyone.
See if CK and Stephen Cumming have found themselves on the track and having a conversation between them.
They're separated.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay then.
I don't know, actually, he just went off on the outlap.
By the looks of it, they're taking heed of the governmental advice and they're being socially distant from each other, so that's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, well, CK is, 12th and Stephen's 19th. There's a whole bunch of guys in the way to break them up.
Doesn't sound like far away, to be honest. I think they need more of a gap. Keep everyone safe that way. So we've finished the warm-up lap. Jack's going to miss his spot. Nice one, Jack.
He's a bit rusty, isn't he? So I haven't been up here in a while. What's going on? Do you know what? I don't think he was the only one I did it. I did see Connor reversing in the BMW as well. So I think a few of them did it there.
There we go. Just catch a glimpse of Jack on the inside. That's better.
Yeah, you might have to switch a few cars back there just to see what's going on.
Looks like the back of the grid is just getting into spot. Who's that in 22nd place? I think that was... Can't quite see from here actually with that view. Dunno.
Yeah, I've had to go on the car side just so I can see the majority of the field.
Watch out for that BMW. That's the one that's surely going to get the greatest start here. I know Connor sometimes bogs down on his starts as well, so maybe Luca back in 5th could be an interesting one. Getting ready to go.
Yeah, these first two need to check out
We
and
are
off they go.
underway, and of course Connor this time does get it all set down. He's got round the outside of Brayley and into the braking zone between the two of them. I think he's going to hold on to first place. That is it. So Connolly straight off the bat takes first place. Jack is snaking around trying to find a gap. It looks like Ambrose has made it 3 wide to possibly gain a couple positions off the start as well. Keeping an eye on that one. I'd actually see what's happened to Garside off the start. Can't see him quite high up.
Yeah, he's
down
just,
his 7th.
Yeah, he got swamped by the Chevys a little bit. He didn't have a bad start. I think the guys around him just had a little bit better, and that's the sort of. Oh, someone's gone off. Who's that off? I think Jack's just gone off.
He has. You are correct. Jack has gone off. I think he's managed to keep himself going. Let's make a quick check and see on the progress of Brady. He's down his 7th, so he's made a mistake. He's now having to try and make his way back through the grid. So that's released Connor first,
Connor
and
needs
right
to
behind
check
him.
out here because Ashley is just causing a roadblock with Luca and stuff. But he's not getting away.
I think hit the gravel again.
Yeah,
Jack's hit the gravel again. He's down in 10th now. This is the first couple laps of nightmares for Brady at the moment, but looking back through, Connor Leese is away in first place. Second place to him is Ashley Field. He's going to want to stay with him as much as he can. He's going to have to keep an eye out behind him though, because he's got Luca Townsend and Brandon Bruce all over the back of him. He's also got Jake Ewan all over them. Bill Garside in 6th and a bit of a gap back down to 7th place. Ali Johnston. Ambrose has made his way up to 8th. 9th is Liam Ferguson, and 10th at the moment is Callum Kirkpatrick. So that rounds out your top 10. Back to keep an eye on the front here.
Yeah, I was about to say, Luca's about to come under attack from his teammate, Brandon. So these top 2 need to kind of check out and try and break the toe to these guys that have the ballast, because
Brandon and Luca need to decide early which one's going to lead these 2 on the charge to get back to the front 2. If they start battling, I mean, obviously they both want the position. It's early on. They don't want to start doing team orders quite yet, but they can't afford to let these top 2 get away. I'm not a fan of team orders.
I'll tell Jack off. I'll tell Jack off. Yeah, he'll probably tell himself off. He's going to be ruined those mistakes he's made. So, what's going on there? Switchback didn't quite
screen. That means that someone has disappeared. No, everyone's all in. Must have just been Forza loading. Thanks, Forza. So keeping an eye on it then. We've got Connor Lee still leading from Ashley Field. Luca Townsend still sat 3rd with Brandon Roos all over the back of him. Just keeping on the back of that is...
I think those 2 are going to avoid... I don't think they're going to battle each other just yet. I think they're going to see what happens at the front 2.
I don't think so. Sorry, just on the exit then, it looked like Garside did lose the rear quite a bit on the curbing. However, he's managed to keep it going. Really, you've got the front 7 battling, and then again, you've got a train being led by Connor.
Oh, Luca just went well wide there.
Looking at a swap, then Brandon taking position. No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. He wasn't able to take advantage of it. It wasn't like a bad area he went wide on. He just went a bit wider than normal going out of turn 3. So.
Declan Evans actually looks like he's Deck has made a move on Callum Kirkpatrick going on to the final straight, so that puts Deck up into 10th place.
Oh, there was a bit
now
of a wiggle from the leader there. No position change still.
Keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, just keep an eye on this battle in for the top 10. So Declan Evans made himself into 10th place, getting past Callum Kirkpatrick, is now eyeing up ballast carrying Liam Ferguson in front of him. He's being held up slightly by Conor Ambrose in his BMW. And in front of them, you've kind of got Ali Johnson who's bridging the gap now, really between the kind of 8th and back to the top 6.
I just held my breath for a moment there. I thought Brandon was going for the pass in the last corner, and then he backed out of it. It's like
we'll have to keep an eye on
the teammates are getting a bit close together now.
Brandon's probably seeing the pair getting away in front of him, thinking, Luca, you can go quicker.
Jake
kissed the gravel. So that's allowed Garside through, maybe also put himself under a bit of a siege from Johnson. Not quite enough, actually. Jake has slotted in nicely in that gap. I think at the moment Declan's actually making moves through. It looks like he possibly is challenging for Ferguson and Ambrose side by side through turn 3. Ferguson's still sat on the outside. He's just going to slot in now as we go through clearways.
Brandon's practically pushing Luca through the last corner. Oh dear.
If that isn't saying hurry up, I don't know what is.
I just saw the sparks coming off the bumpers and I was like, oh my god.
Guys, it looks like Ash isn't really able to get onto the back of Lees, who's, you can see him sliding it into turn 2 and down the hill, but I think he's more doing it almost like it's the way he's got the car set up to allow himself to turn in, but actually Phil just kind of slotted him behind, not quite in a position to make a move on him as it stands.
And he's doing it again. Brandon's pushing. I think these two are going to get a bit spicy before this race is over. Oh, there was a bit of a... What's going on back there? I think Garside's under massive pressure there, yeah. Jake's got back up the inside of Garside.
Oh, a bit of a contact in turn 1.
Bit of a corner cut there, but I suppose it was... I think he had to do that to avoid spinning him out. So
that looked like it was a... Oh, I think that was a move being made then actually between Brandon and Luca.
Ali's now caught up with these two now. That battle's
these
just
two have really put themselves into trouble. Luca's still holding up Brandon, and I'm wondering if... It's almost at this point now, I'm wondering if Luca actually just lets Brandon through and go for the team drive and let Brandon try and kind of say to him, alright, if you're going to bump me, clearly you've got the pace, go and catch these guys. And as Brandon again is pushing Luca through the final turn.
I think Luca doesn't want to lose the position because he didn't really get on the podium in the first race. He was in 4th and didn't really trouble the podium too much. So I think he's just going to try and score what points he can. I think it will be a damage limitation night if he can't find some space. Speed.
This could all count up come the end of the season. It could be a matter of a position. There's a mistake looked like it was made by Connor Lees there. And Field is all over the back of him now. Switch into that battle. I think Ash might be trying to pull alongside. Just got his nose in. Whoa. Just manages to take that position back, but that is a sign of things to come for Connor Lees. He knows that Ashley Field is going to take that position if he leaves any space or makes any mistake whatsoever. Just having a look through the field, see if there's any.
Yeah, I'm watching the battle for 8th here. It's absolutely massive. Ferguson's making a train and a half here. Everyone's almost tripping over each other to try and find a way to the front and pass them.
It looks like he was battling with Ambrose for quite a bit, so I think he's finally got past him and is now trying to pull away. But yeah, I saw that one. It looks like CK's managed to get his way up the inside of Declan Evans on the run up to the 2 Druids. I think Dec's going to try and hang it around.
I have to admit, a lot of his deliveries are super nice.
I think Dex managed to get that position back. I don't know if there was contact then. I couldn't quite see. I think there was actually. Deck has now found himself down in 11th, where is Kirkpatrick is down in 13th. So yeah, the two definitely did come together.
Yeah, I thought so. A gap just suddenly formed there. Jax has got back in the top 10, so he's fighting back now after his whatever happened the first lap.
Contact slightly. So the quick check through. Ashley Field is currently holding on to the fastest lap as he's chasing down Connor Lees for that lead, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. He had an attempt earlier, but wasn't having it. Still battle going on between Brandon and Luca for 3rd, and then you've got the battle for 5th, held by Garside with Jake Owen right behind him. Ali Johnson's now still getting onto the back of them. Then you've got this man here, Liam Ferguson, in 8th. 9th is Connor Ambrose, and 10th at the moment is Jack Reddy heading a bit of a train with Declan Evans looking to get his way back through again. So, I mean, it's really kind of all spreading out a little bit, but it's...
Yeah, I'm just watching the little battle for 14th place here at the moment. Ryan's practically pushing Kyle at the last corner, so he wants to get on with it. Sort of Stephen Cummins in that battle as well. I mean, there's a huge battle for 14th going on, so everyone's scrapping for whatever they can get, really.
Kind of, yeah, those final few points, obviously, point system does extend the way down to 20th, so as it stands, 2 drivers will be missing out, which is Shane Bellotti and Mark Ruddick. I believe that is in 22nd. Obviously, this is Mark's first season back in the Mercedes. Hasn't been in it since, I believe it was season 8, so he's had about quite a long run out of that Mercedes. And
so it's what I'm saying, when you take a bit of time out, it's a bit hard to get back into a rhythm of things. So
I mean, he's had a few seasons in like the in the Audi S3, etc. But it's his first season back in that Mercedes. It's just a completely different car, and
it behaves a lot differently. He's partnered
up with Ryan. Yes, I mean 100%. I mean, he partnered up with Ryan, so he's kind of got the ideal person to teach him, so to speak. But through, see if any real positions have been changed. I think.
No, I'm back at the lead battle here. Connor's just dipping wheels here and there, where he's under so much pressure, but he's I mean, Ash is trying everything to just try and make a gap for the Audi. I'm actually glad to see a BMW batting it out for the lead here at this late stage of the race.
We're looking here at, in total, 11 championships between these top two. Ashley Field obviously winning 8 in a row, and Connor Lease won 3 in a row. So, kind of...
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's like Mercedes levels of championship winning now.
Right. Oh, Ash had a complete...
I remember, I was around in those days.
Winning, yeah. And, I mean, as it stands, we currently have 4 of the champions that have put in the Touring Car Championship are taking part tonight. But Conor I keep saying Conor Ambrose. I might tell these to go away so that I don't get the two Connors confused. So we've got Connor Lease obviously with his 3. Ashley Field has got 8. Going back down, we've got Luke Townsend who's got 3 to his name, 3 back to back, and then
they just seem to be calming down a bit now.
CK with his 1. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's when it's starting to wear out. I think everyone's just struggling to find that little bit extra to try and make it pass.
Definitely. I mean, looking through, you've kind of got first and second escaped, second and third have spent the entire time battling for position, or well, Luca kind of keeping that position away from Brandon.
Those two just basically moulded together.
Connor makes another mistake on the exit of Druids, and Ash is all over the back.
Oh, here we go. Ash has got up the inside.
Here we go. Ash has sensed the opportunity.
He's got to go for it here, isn't he? Oh, they're hanging on.
Side through clearways. What? That's close racing, boys. Careful.
That was really good racing there. That could have so gone wrong.
Brandon and Luca probably held their hands looking in front at that then, but Lisa's survived yet another scare, and Ashley Field is going to be seething that he didn't make an opportunity go then.
I mean, he got the car in the right place. Can't fault Connor. He just hanged it out there, and somehow they just didn't wipe each other out. It's not easy to go too wide through that little bit of sequence of corners, so hats off to them.
Not at all. I kind of want to check how the rest of the grid are getting on, but these two battling for position is just... I can't risk stepping away.
I think the battle for, like, what was it? 5th, 6th place has got the almighty train going on. So,
yeah. It looks like it was kind of Garsider's escape now, and in fact, it looks like Jake has been swallowed in that train, because he was in 6th, and Jake has now found himself in 10th place. Meanwhile, I have to mention, actually, Declan Evans made his way back up into 11th place after the mistake that did happen earlier on, which we believe was a bit of contact.
There's some good recovery drives going on in the midfield, which is good to see.
100%. This is actually brilliant. Makes me want to do a touring car league. Good to hear, Rickson. Good to hear, mate. So 2 laps to go.
Touring car leagues are the most
get
popular
this.
ever, you know. Maybe GTs might be a bit popular, but touring cars is always close. So.
Touring cars.
It's always touring cars. If someone said touring cars or GT, I'd always go touring cars. So, yeah. That's what makes me hot for the BTCC game in a couple of years. I hope they get that right, because that would be so popular.
Oh, 100%. Cannot wait. Here we go. Final lap. Connor Lease, hold on.
He's got this unless he makes a mistake. I mean, I've just jinxed him. Commentator's curse. Let's see if it's a thing, shall we?
BTCC will be sick.
Ash is absolutely giving it everything.
This is it now. He knows this is his chance. Watch for a move up the inside.
He's literally pushing him to try and get underneath him, but it's just not working. He's got Matt Neal lunge is the only way he's going to win this now.
Brandon and Luca are ready to pounce if that is to happen. It looks like Connor's going to hold on as my voice breaks.
There's a lump in your throat. Yeah. Hats off to Connor. That was
hold on.
Brilliant defending.
All over him, but what a drive from Connor Lee. 2nd goes to Ashley Field. 3rd does stay with Luke Townsend. 4th, Brandon. 5th is going to go away.
On the last lap there, Jake just went on the gravel and just dropped about 3 or 4 places there. Fell down to 9th.
Yeah.
He fell down to 9th there.
Run through. So yeah, like I said, 5th for Garside, 6th for Liam Ferguson, 7th for Conor Ambrose. Good drive from him. 8th for Jack Brealey. Disappointed considering starting first. 9th for Jake Gould, like you're saying. 10th does go the way of Declan Evans, so he does manage to recover back into the top 10. Good drive from him. 11th goes the way of Callum Kirkpatrick. 12th for Andrew Lawrence. 13th for Faze Intro, Ali Johnson, and 14th for James Allen. Oh, what a race! Especially that from the front two.
Yeah, that was really good, clean, fair racing. You know, they got side by side in places where normally an accident would happen. So it was brilliant defending. Ash did all the pressure in the right places to make mistakes.
Yeah.
He couldn't quite capitalise on it. The teammates were basically pushing each other around. I don't think they had a chance, really. The ballast affected them at the end. I think Jack's just going to be kicking himself. He had a good start. He was in second. It was all over Connor, and then he just made two mistakes, and it dropped him down. I mean, he had a good recovery to get back in the top 10, but he's going to be absolutely kicking himself with that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it looked like... I mean, Jack had it all kind of ready for him. He was starting on first in a Chevrolet, and all he needed to do was not make a mistake, and it just kind of... Whether it was just he didn't warm up the tyres enough or what, I'm not sure, but he did extremely well, you know. He did extremely well after those mistakes to kind of not let that affect him and fall down, but...
He could have easily have been in the shot for winning that race. He would have been in that battle. He definitely would. That would have been a three-way battle for the lead, I think, if he didn't make those mistakes. But yeah, great defending by Luca, holding off Brandon. Those extra couple of points, you never know, might help later on in the championship. Obviously, it definitely wasn't team orders there, because Brandon was practically pushing him in a few corners. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that Brandon wanted that place away from him, but Luca was not giving that up. And he kind of... It's almost like Luca accepted, look, we're not going to get first or second here, but I'm having third.
Yeah, so much battling going on. I kind of forgot who was after them. Yeah, I think it was because Jake made a mistake in the last lap, dropped about 3 or 4 positions. Was it Ferguson? Was like 5th or 6th, was it?
Ferguson ended up in 6th. Yeah.
Ali was right up there. I remember that much. Oh yeah, Garside was up there. There was a whole bunch of them together, wasn't there? So it's through at 6 there, that top 10. You know, one car goes in the gravel in the last one, the last lap, and everyone jumbles around.
I think the fastest lap. Yeah, Ashley Field managed to keep the fastest lap as well. So he didn't get the win, but he did get that bonus point, which could be, again, it's one of those that could be massive come the end of the season. Through Luca Townsend, all in third place.
Needs results like that, really.
Podiums underway.
He stood off, didn't he, at the end? So of the season. So
yes.
You know, not quite the win, but it's obviously if he's been consistent so far tonight, and obviously that podium would definitely come in handy. Hats off for Connor making that BMW get a win. You know, if someone said a BMW will win a race in the first round, I probably wouldn't have believed him with the consistent battling with the Audis and Chevys. So it was good to see another manufacturer up there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just looking through the entire grid, really, there's no real positions that you're looking at and thinking, not sure on that one. You know, there's no real big. You're looking all the way down the grid. There's not really many drivers that you'd expect to be so apart from each other.
Yeah, I mean, as usual, the midfield ended up with this massive train going on again, and then it kind of went to 2 separate trains when people started battling more and more.
And gradually, it took one car kind of trying to bridge the gap that made the train back together again, so to speak.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everyone kind of roughly finished probably where I would half expect them, unless they made mistakes. The only one that was probably out of place, you know, I thought it definitely would have been on podium was Jack, but he recovered well, got back in the top 10 again. You know, with reverse grid, he could be in the pound seats again to make up for it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, one driver I have to make a mention for actually is Carl Cully. So obviously for the past, last season, he made a real push all the way through, really, averaging about 8th, 9th place. And so far, his first 2 races, he's come 16th and 19th. Now I know that he knows himself that he can be higher up than that.
He was right up there in the battle for 10th place at one point with a few laps to go. So I don't know if he had a mistake somewhere in the last section of the race there, because he was battling for he was in that queue of cars for 10th place. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I must have missed that. Yeah, I mean, overall, there's only been a few mistakes overall. You know, your driver here and there making mistakes. Overall, everyone's just been flat out pushing each other and no major incidents and stuff. You know, they've been well behaved tonight.
Let's have a look at what's going on.
Yeah, is there any more meme chats going on there?
So you've got CK and Rickson chatting to each other about how Rickson's Scouse and Welsh, apparently, so that's an interesting mix.
Didn't see that one coming.
Cummings says, "Hi Damo, big fan."
I have a fan. I'm happy.
You have a fan? Yeah.
I have a fan.
Why
I'm
is
happy.
it that you get the fan before me? How does this work out? Actually, no, I know that Stephen is a big fan, and I don't want him to say in the chat why.
We'll probably both be disturbed by the answer.
No, I think
No.
Declan's in a great position for this race. Let's get those points in, boy. Yeah, let's check on Deck. So Deck came 10th and not able to confirm where. Long finger, thanks, Jizzy. Not going to confirm where Deck is actually going to be starting from race 3 yet. They're not 100% sure. Swims. It's both. Come on, it's both. So Steven's trying to assume the reasons why he loves me. And it's scary why there's quite a few options.
see, I've got the fan, but it looks like you got the boyfriend going on there.
Oh, brilliant! No. He wishes. Who's Declan? I only know 7.3. It's 7.2. You uncultured swine, CK. Come on, man.
So, what's the numbers for the reverse grid? What's it between this time around?
So the numbers for reverse grid, same as last season, which is, just to bring it up for you here. Oh, that's not it.
Was it like down to first to 15th or something like that?
So it is, for the reverse grid, you're looking at 12th to 18th.
12th to 18th.
Oh no, sorry, 12 to 20 is what it should be. And so anyone who finished between the options of 12th and 20th gets the chance of being drawn out and getting pole. So
15. There you go. I'll say a random number.
You reckon 15?
Yeah. Why not? I'll take a guess.
You've guessed 15. That is insane, because I know what the actual result is, and it's like I told you early. It's 15.
I do not have a crystal
15.
ball.
So yeah, 15th is getting pole, which is Roy Newman in the Honda Civic.
You can thank me later. Yeah. That was a pretty good guess. I'm quite chuffed with myself.
That was not bad, that. Yeah, good play. Damon was correct, yeah. CK, watch me not get a top 10 again. I mean, you've, hold on. 12th and 11th, so I think, judging by that, 10th next time, mate. You're fine.
Key figures has been consistent, so...
Yeah. I mean, Garside, massive consistency at the moment. He's come 5th both races.
Yeah, I knew Garside was up there somewhere. It's like I said, one guy goes off in the last lap and it threw me a 6. It's like, who finished where again? But that's good consistency, because that's 5th without ballast, 5th with ballast. I don't know what he's going to do next. 5th on 3 wheels? I mean... I hope not. See, this is where the gloves are going to come off now. You know, the top boys are kind of hovering around top 10, just outside, and with the ballast. So that's
I mean,
going to be something.
I mean, you've got to really be careful of that stuff. I mean, CK starting from 5th. that's going to be the one to watch out for. They said, we'll miss you, Damo, said Jizzy. I do have feelings also, but whatever.
I'm trying to figure out why I'm being missed. Am I going somewhere?
It's because they're going into the race now. A few of the drivers are popping into the chat between races just to say they're going to miss you whilst they're racing. It's like they forget I exist and have feelings.
I think they've just missed me in general because I've had a bit of a break from OMA.
Love you, Steve. Thank you, Ali. You're my favourite.
Oh dear. There's going to be some livery changes. It's going to be like "Missed you, Damo, and love you, Steve" splattered somewhere on a car with a hashtag.
Yeah, that checks out.
So this is probably one of my favourite parts of the evening. Is when you get the big number reverse grid, and it gives all these other guys an opportunity to mix it in at the front and try and score some big points.
Yeah. Boss, you're my wallpaper. Always miss you. Oh, please don't say you put me as your phone's wallpaper, man. Not again.
Oh dear. I'm trying to figure out if you bought that on yourself or not.
Yeah, I probably did. Right. Let's have a run through of our grid for what is race 3, final race of the night.
I'm hoping Robert realises it's warrant lap. He's kind of took off and there's like a massive split going on. He's slowing down now. Yeah, I think he's just realised.
That's all right then.
He's just like, poof, he was gone, and then it was like, warm up lap.
So going through, let's have a look then. So Robert Newman first, second is James Allen. That'll be interesting to see how he can do. Ali Johnson's third in the Chevrolet, same as
that was Andrew
Lawrence
taking Jason Plato line right there. I mean,
that's a quality line from Andrew there.
Yeah.
Keep going through. Fifth, Callum Kirkpatrick. Sixth is Declan Evans. See what those two can do. They've been fast runners all night. Seventh is Jake Ewan. Eighth for Jack Braley. Ninth, Connor Ambrose. 10th is Liam Ferguson. 11th, Phil Garside. Then you've got Brandon Roos and Luca Townsend. Ashley Field and Connor Lease is the top 15. 16th is Ryan Powell. He's been disappointed with how this race has gone so far. Hoping to probably improve in the last one. Then you've got Bailey Rosia down in 17th. 18th for Stephen Cumming. 19th is Carl Cully. He's going to want to improve on that one. I know he can. He knows he can do better than that. 20th for Ben Brenson. He got his first point in the last race. Well done, Ben. 21st for Shane Bellotti, and 22nd is Mark Ruddock at the back. So I'm going to have to start like taking an inhaler or something just to read out the grid because there are so many names at this point.
Yeah. You just
or maybe I'll just stick to surnames from now on.
Could be easier. Yeah. I mean, don't do first names because you've got like half the grid with the same first name going on. So. Too many Callums and Connors going on there. I think if they get good starts, we could be looking at Andrew, Ali, even CK probably have a chance in the rear-wheel drive. Yeah.
I mean, I can straight away see he has angled himself into that gap.
Yeah, I could see. Is that on the front row again? James, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, I can see James. He's already sideways. He knows that he wants to shut that gap before that Chevy goes through it.
I think Ali might be pointing in as well, which could actually might watch something happen here for Andrew Lawrence on the right hand side of the screen, that kind of purple and blue car, because he may end up benefiting from these guys all pointing together. So the revs are climbing again, ready for race 3.
Not all the engines rev now, so it must be almost time. And away we go.
We're away. That looked like a good start from that Honda originally, but I think he's going to hold on to that inside light. 4 wide into turbo.
Oh my
That's
lord!
Not going to go well. Careful there.
Someone's going skidding already.
That's right. CK up the inside. Someone's gone sideways. I think they've held it. Trying to see if there's really been any big moves immediately. So running through. James Allen taking.
There's some contact going on now. So. I'm trying to figure out who it is actually. I think it's CK when it got attacked from a Chevy just now. So.
Right, okay. Well, looking through, you've got Robert Newman keeps hold of first place. Second is James Allen. Third for Ali Johnson. Fourth, Cam Kirkpatrick. Fifth, for Andrew Knight. Sixth is Jake, you're in the 7th now.
Someone just totally Matt-Nilled the last corner there. I'm trying to figure out who that was. Someone just, I think that was Ali. I think Ali just went up the inside of BMW there. Was it Ali? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, Ali finds himself in 3rd place, so he's just dived himself past Callum Kirkpatrick. Meanwhile, Newman is actually getting away slightly here.
So I'm just going to shoot back to the highest of the ballast guys here at the moment. So it's Brandon at the moment is highest of the ballast guys in 9th. But I mean, that pack is just swamped at the moment. There's still 4 wide going on in some of these corners here. It's like
first 2 laps all fine for position, especially on a race 3. That's why we love.
Oh, Luca actually got past Brandon. Thank you, camera angle, for making me miss that. So. the car was invisible because of the camera angle. So it's like.
Thank you, turn 10.
Yep.
Or as Kieran McKellen is obviously missing tonight would say, thank you, Bungie.
Oh dear.
So I hope you're still in the chat, Kieran, keeping an eye on your man James Allen, who sat here in 2nd place, defending from Ali Johnston, looking to attack the guy in front.
Brandon and Luca at it again.
No love lost between teammates, it seems. They're going to have conversations by the end of it, it looks like. And
Brandon's back up the inside. I think these two are going to hold each other up from scoring big points here if they battle like that. They probably would be better off working together in this early stage.
I think so, especially when you've got Conor Ambrose and that BMW right behind him. But this could end up being a really tight race the entire time.
Declan's just ran wide. It's allowed Jack to come up on his inside there for 7th.
Keep an eye on that one. I think that looked like it may have been a potential swap for.
It's still side by side. They haven't sorted themselves out there.
Deck's gonna just slot in behind us. Jack actually makes a mistake on the brakes and a switchback from Deck. What a move by the Laser Tools driver. Great opportunistic dive up the inside there from Deck, and looks like there's a bit
Jake's just gone up the inside of Andrew there.
Andrew Lawrence. I think Andrew's going to hold on to it on the inside line of the next turn. Either way, both of them are going to be compromised here as Declan Evans looks like he's charging through.
This is what I like about reverse grids. Everyone's just going to be stuck together. It's just too much to watch.
100%. Keeping an eye back on the front of the field.
Well, someone just broke a window. I heard a glass smash, so someone just lost a headlight probably. They're all going at it now.
So that's start of lap 7. It is Robert Newman still holding on to 1st place from James Allen. Ali Johnston, the race 3 master from last season, sat in 3rd place. Callum Kirkpatrick is kind of stuck in 4th place, not knowing whether to attack in front or defend from behind, as he's got Jake Ewan all over.
I think Brandon just went up. Yeah, Brandon's went up the inside of Jack, so he's managed to break away from Luca now, and he's now starting to make moves.
Brandon means business this season by the looks of it. Obviously he did the past few seasons anyway, but he looks like he's definitely wanting to not risk what happened last season.
Ali's just gone wide. CK's just gone for it.
Keep an eye on that, see if Ali's going to hold that outside line.
Oh, it could be a free wide situation here, I think.
That looks like Jake Ewan may try and hold it in. Is Ali going to hold that under braking?
Who's the bravest on the brakes? Yep, CK's got it. Nice move. Not done yet, though.
Up the no, definitely not. He's having to hold a defensive line into turn 2, and all this is doing is
letting the front 2 go away there. That's kind of what they need, really.
And it looked like Jake Ewan.
Jake's going to have them both, isn't he?
As well.
No.
Looks like TK's managed to hold on to that one. Jake.
Good. That was. They're all at it here. All
these 3 are doing is just letting Allen and Newman escape in front of them, which is great to see. Actually, the sole Honda driver on the grid of Robert Newman.
So like I said, when you got Chevys and Audis battling each other and stuff, it's good to see the BMWs and Hondas mixing it up at the front.
100%. You've got the Honda.
Oh, Jake's now going up the inside of CK here.
See if he can get him under braking. They're all so close together. I think that's Brandon up the
inside. Oh, so that's 3 wide.
Declan Evans
Ali's just got up the inside of both of them. No, CK just monstered the brakes and it's like, no, I'm keeping 3rd, thanks.
Looks like Ali's really wanting to keep hold of that one.
There's so many battling there. I think it's going to hold up the guys at the ballast. It's like they probably want to get on with it and they can't because there's cars going left and right trying to find a way through.
As you were saying that, actually, Brandon has managed to get himself past
7th now, isn't he? He's picking them off one by one, yeah.
He's now going to look straight back. Deck is not one to give up that easy.
Top 2 are checked out. This battle for 3rd is, I mean, they just no one wants to give an inch, and it's just let the top two just drive off at the moment.
It does seem that way. I mean, you've got, like I say, Newman and Allen are kind of
Andrew's
away
just
a little bit.
drifted into turn 2 there. Keeps his position. Everyone's really
they've got on
pushed.
this setup. Yeah, they are really pushing each other here to try and get through. And you've got this battle that's just extending from 4th all the way down to 13th, which is Phil Garside. So it doesn't look like he's going to keep his run of 5th places, but I could say that and everything could go wrong in front of him, so you never know. Actually, Phil slotted in behind him, battling with Connolly, so those two are battling, but not quite for the same position as last time.
The Chevys are kind of tripping over themselves a bit now. It's now allowing Jake and CK to start pulling away from him. Oh, someone's made a mistake. Second place, who was that?
That was James Allen, I'm not sure.
Oh, now there's some contact going, here we go. They're now starting to hit each other around a bit.
James Allen has dropped back now behind CK and...
I didn't see what happened. I think he broke himself and got into the gravel. He came to a standstill really quickly.
Either way, all that's meaning now is Robert Newman is out in front on his own with a big gap down to 2nd place, which is at the moment Callum Kirkpatrick.
CK is going to be Robert's best friend right now.
Push.
So if these guys battle like they are, he's
we could be looking. I think. Now I don't want to jinx it, so I'm.
No, we won't do it. We won't be evil. I mean, I've jinxed one person tonight. I'll probably get told off for it.
I'm going to stay quiet in that case. I'll say it once it comes to it. But looking through.
Right.
Trying to see if there's anything really.
So Jake's now going up the inside of CK, but they're still side by side. So CK will now have the inside for the next corner.
Outside here, or a switch back. It looked like CK just broke out a little bit later to block that one off. So good there by the Scot. See these two parts.
CK's just defending for his life. This is like a Caesar train all over again. I'm having some flashbacks.
If that's anything to go by, then we might be in for quite an interesting last 2 laps. Seeing as what happened last time we had a train like this. Newman has gone. He has completely escaped from these two.
I mean, the group is actually splitting into 2.
Here,
it's not one massive train. One of the other guys has fallen back a bit. So it's starting to get 2 trains.
One concern that Newman has got, however, is that right now, as it stands, Jake Owen has got the fastest lap of the race. So these two, as much as they are battling, they are pushing each other on as well. And Newman is going to have to just kind of not worry too much behind him, but just keep that eye on it, because they could get to him if they keep pushing the way they are. It's a big gap to kind of fulfill, but
yeah, if these guys suddenly sort themselves out and don't battle so hard, I think they are starting to close the gap a bit. So I think
I'm going to switch to checking the time behind the leader just to see if it does start dropping. Just looking through. Jack actually has had quite a big, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's all the way down in 16th now, is Jack Braley. CK and Ewan still into turn 1 side by side. Well, I say that Ali looks like he's made his way past James Allen for what is 4th place. Allen defending heavily from.
Yeah,
so at the moment the gap is just over 2 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Going to keep an eye on that one, see if that starts dropping. I think Brandon lost a place then potentially. No, Brandon gained another place as he gets past Andrew Lawrence. He's now found himself in 6th. Does Brandon Rooser. He's making way.
These guys battling, I think, is what's actually helping Brandon just pick them off one by one. He's got 6 laps to go. He's not doing anything silly, so he's just picking his moments.
Waiting for the mistake in front of him, and kind of as we started the stream by talking about himself and Luca, the way they drive.
The gap is dropping now. They just took half a second out of Robert in that last lap. So they're really pushing each other on now.
I'm not one to cheer on a driver, I want to stay as unbiased as I can, but come on, Rob, get going, mate, you've got this.
I actually think if he does win, it'd be great, because it'd be 3 different manufacturers, but we'll hold on there. The gap has come down a bit. I think it was just the last sector they monstered him.
2.2 now. I think it is the final turn, actually, where that Honda's coming out, maybe even down the home straight. So obviously we know how good that Honda is through the turns. I think it's a straight line where it's missing out just that little bit. So going to keep an eye on that one, making the way through the field. At the moment, the top speed, I was going to say fastest lap of the race is now held by Brandon Roos with 47.2. So
the second train is actually led by Andrew, Although the second train's now catching up to the first train, so we could have one massive train again in a minute.
One massive battle as it stands.
Yeah, they are massively closing in to the first train, so we could be looking at a 10-car train in the next lap or two.
Can't wait for that.
Actually, probably more than that. It's just a never-ending line of dots, so it's probably more than 10 cars in there.
It looks like 16th, I think that is, at the back of that entire
Second
lot.
to 16th, that's massive.
I mean, it looks like second and third actually are just
they're pulling away
from
a bit
Ali
now, yeah.
Although, yeah, Ali's kind of more on defensive against James, who has got Brandon all over the back of him. Let's check this gap to the leader. Oh, I think... I'm not sure if it's closing. Ash has made his way up to 15th now. It's not. As Jake makes his way up the inside of CK through turn 2. I think that looked like a late break then by the BMW driver. So Jake now, not only is he holding...
Oh, they're both drifting through the corner. There was no contact there. They just synchronised, drifted a bit there through the corner.
It must be a setup that they've got on, because I've seen a few cars all doing it where the rear end is just stepping out under braking. So I think they're doing it just to get that little bit more turning.
Yeah.
As it stands, as you can see, Robert Newman still first place, still holding on as he's entering lap 18 out of 20.
He's got to be having some nerves at this point. So just keep doing what you're doing. That's all I can say.
He's roughly his fastest lap. Oh, he's keeping that gap actually. He's still at about 2.2, 2.4 seconds. So
and Ali's just dive bombed the BMW.
Ali's getting involved in this fight. Yeah. This is exactly what Rob needs to see behind him. So looking through, just have a quick run through. You've got Ali down in 4th, and 5th is James Allen. 6th for Brandon Roos. He's just kind of stuck there now behind James Allen. 7th for Andrew Lawrence. 8th for Declan Evans. 9th is Luca Townsend, and 10th for Conor Ambrose, holding on to the top 10. Second at the moment is still Jake Ewan. He's kind of pulling away from CK now, so he's got 2 laps really to try and get a 2-second advantage here on Robert Newman. Don't see this happening. I think we could be looking at a win here for the Honda driver. Incredible performance from him if he can pull this one off.
Yeah, so now you've put the jinx on. So
I've said it.
Yeah, now you've said it.
If we see him end it up in the gravel in turn 1, I'm going to apologise to him personally. I'm going to bring him in here just so I can say I'm sorry.
So it looks like Brandon's just finally got up the inside of James. So I don't know if he made it stick there. I don't think he has.
Oh, look, I don't think he has. James managed to hold him off. I think Brandon's got to be careful. We've got Andrew. Looks like James gone a little bit wide into the final turn now. That could give Brandon a run. No, James has held on to that one. So as we enter the final lap, switch over to our leader, Robert Newman, a composed drive as it stands.
He's shown really good pace in that Honda. He's maintained that gap.
Potential lights to flag victory here for Robert Newman if he can hold on. Come on, Rob.
Just a couple more laps to go.
3 more corners, mate. You've
couple of laps to go. I want the race to continue, as you can tell. I'm going to say a couple of corners to go.
Round in the final turn in, Robert Newman